Hey guys, this is Adam with Mods for Quads. Um, Back to talk a little bit more about COVID and how we've all been coping. And last we talked about physical issues, a lot of the potential pitfalls physically from being in isolation, from not going to therapy, from limited activity, and some of the snowballing effect that happens with those physical challenges. Uh, in this video, we're going to talk more about the mental challenges. And in the next video, we're going to go into spirit and willpower and how we can try to turn around some of these challenges and actually use them to our benefit. So as for the mental side of things, um, you know, once we're physically isolated and not going out and not being in the community, not regularly setting goals and striving to achieve those goals, it's pretty easy to get in a malaise about goal setting, about looking forward to something in the future for motivation. And sometimes, you know, we find ourselves staring out the window or trying to occupy ourselves to pass the time without really working on meaningful goals. A lot of our coping techniques around being isolated can often lead to these kind of types of detachment, and because of the physical stress added to that situation, a lot of our natural cycles and the things that we do normally to keep ourselves fit physically, mentally, and spiritually are interrupted. In terms of potential issues mentally, first and foremost, you know, if you're not exercising, keeping up your blood circulation, possibly getting some aerobic activity or cardio activity, it's oftentimes gets a lot harder to sleep. And you know, we need sleep. I actually had about an hour and a half of sleep last night because I just started therapy, and it's really hard for me right now to get back in the swing of things. My body's not very tolerant of much activity because of how much time I've spent being sedentary. And you know, when you lose sleep, a lot of things kind of start to deteriorate. Our brains only heal when we're sleeping, and our brain chemistry gets out of whack when we don't sleep. So, you know, we have less serotonin, we have less melatonin, and we have less dopamine. You know, chemicals in the brain that we rely on for our sense of well-being, our sleep patterns, and our energy level. So once the brain chemistry gets out of whack, we find it hard to focus, and you know, our mental integration of things is it's not as seamless. So it can be very challenging while we're coping with isolation, which ushers in, you know, potential psychological issues around, you know, feeling depressed, not having something that we can look forward to in the future, an overall sense of frustration at our circumstances and our inability to have control over improving our situation in some ways. Our fear level and our anxiety level also are more likely to be sensitive because of what's going on around us, and not having the not having the routine and the patterns that we rely on to have that sense of well-being